Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're reviewing the Condor Battlebelt and H-Harness. I'm a big fan of Alice gear. If you've watched any of my One Shepherd videos, you'll notice the rattle battle that I'm using is Alice based. It's Blackhawk updated, but it's still 100% Alice compatible. I think Alice is a great system and it's going to be viable for a very long time. However, that being said, Alice, she's getting a little old and she's approaching retirement time. And anything new as far as innovative pouch design or just modern pouch design, it's Molly compatible. Molly's the up and comer, she's the star now. And so she's starting to supplant Alice, and that's a fact of life. As good as Alice gear is, nobody's supporting it in the ways that they used to. Yes, they still make canteen covers. Yes, they still make GI M16 magazine pouch covers and all that. But in newer gear, it's not really happening. So you've got to go to Molly at some point. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I've made a pretty significant investment in Alice, or just thinking, hey, Alice has worked for me. She does everything I need her to do. You know, I'm not really interested in this girl, Molly. Well, the truth of it is, if you're going to upgrade your gear, you're going to be getting Molly gear at some point. And while it is possible to use Alice gear with Molly and Molly gear with Alice, it's less than optimal. You know, the pouches won't be as firm, they'll slide around a lot more, and if you've got unnecessary movement in your pouches and your gear, that leads to hot spots, rubbings. Rubbings lead to rashes and blisters, and none of that stuff's good. Now, you can use this gear to upgrade your Alice. The Battlebelt here, cover here, is designed to go over an Alice belt or a rigger's belt or any belt you really want. It's just a slide over cover. And if you just want to do that so you can use Molly pouches, by all means, go for it. You can still use the old Y harness, or if you're even still running the H harness from 1956 pattern gear, good on you. It'll be compatible with this. If you want to upgrade your suspenders because you want to run a hydration carrier, as you can see on the back, there's Molly gear, Molly space to do that. This does increase the versatility of your Alice gear, and also it doesn't require you to drop a chunk of money all at once for major gear upgrade. You can make like Johnny Cash and do this one piece at a time. The system is essentially made up of two parts, and you can use them independently if you want. You have the belt section and you have the H-harness section. We're going to start with the belt. Now, the belt section truly isn't a belt. It's actually a sleeve that'll go over a belt that you have. Like here, I'm using an old Alice style pistol belt, but you're not limited to that. You can go ahead and use any style of belt you want, because this just slides right over it. But I specifically used an Alice belt because, one, they're good sturdy belts, and two, it shows how the system upgrades. So I've taken all the Alice systems off that belt, slid this cover over it, the Battlebelt cover, and you get two rows of Molly webbing right here that you can attach pouches. Here I've attached a triple magazine pouch, then I got a couple Molly compatible canteen covers, and on the other side some more magazine pouches and even a holster. And that holster shows what's good about this setup as well. Even though this slides over the belt has openings on the bottom of it, and that's a good thing because that allows you to attach holsters directly to the belt you're using to support the Battlebelt system. This here, I've got a Blackhawk Omnivore attached to a dogleg extension that's connected straight directly to the Battlebelt, and that works out really good. It makes for a nice solid mounting for a pistol holster. As we move to the inside, moving to the inside of the Battlebelt, that's where you see where one of the advantages comes in, because you've got a whole system of padding right here with some reinforcements at attachment points and rub points. So it's going to stand up to some abuse, and it's going to give you some padding as it's riding on you. For those of you old enough to remember, a lot of us back in the day when all we had was issue Alice gear would cut up a section of sleeping mat and attach it with zip ties to perform essentially the exact same function that this Battlebelt's doing. It's got some pretty good padding here, and it rides really comfortable. Moving on to the H harness. Here's where it's got some unique things over the old style H harness or Y harness, depending on what version of Alice you're looking at. This has a pad in the back, It is not padded, but it is ventilated, so you can get some ventilation in there. You got 3 rows of MOLLE, and this sits roughly right between your shoulder blades. You also have your adjustments for the belt, so how high or low it rides. And these straps are nice to tuck in behind the MOLLE, so that keeps good control of your straps. I like this right here because if you're running a radio, for example, a small squad type radio like PRC 68, PRC 126, 128, those pouches will attach right here. And if you're running the old 68 or 128 pouches and they're still Alice clipped, the Alice will work with the MOLLE strips. But if you have a newer pouch that's MOLLE compatible, obviously it's going to sit right there. Also, if you like to run a reservoir or camelback type system, the holder will integrate with the back panel right here, so that enables you to, if you want to be ultra modern, eliminate cantines instead of being old school like I do. Let's move around to the front of the harness and check out what's there. It's a little easier to show you the front part of the strap system while wearing the gear than having just laying on the deck. And this is where MOLLE and Alice have some stuff in common. As the straps come over, they have a little bit of webbing here so you can attach small utility pouches, first aid, compass pouches, and whatnot. They also have D-rings for tying things on or attaching something. And this set of H-harness comes integrated with a sternum strap. I never really used sternum straps that much with Alice gear. I did sometimes. I could take them or leave it, but you know what? You get it for free, you might as well use it. The adjustment system is by Glide Buckle. Not really that much different than what was on the Alice system, so it basically works the same way. And if you noticed earlier in the video, this attaches to D-rings on the belt in an H-pattern harness. But if you just want the Battlebelt portion to go over your Alice gear to use more modern pouches, you can still integrate and use the old Alice harness with this setup. That's why I look at this as mainly being an upgrade. Obviously you can buy the H-harness and the Battlebelt and any type of belt you want to put the Battlebelt sleeve over, and you've got a dang good rig for sure. But if you just want to upgrade your gear to use modern pouches, well, that's what this helps you out with, because you can use your old Battlebelt, slide the Battlebelt cover over it, and then you can start putting MOLLE pouches on where you used to have your Alice type pouches. You could still use the old Alice suspenders or the old 1956 H-harness if you wanted, or you can get this H-harness, which with the MOLLE webbing on the back is going to be a good place to mount a hydration carrier. Like all things these days, you can get this in a multitude of colors. On the Condor website, you can get this in OD green, you can get it in FDE, or as you see here, you can get it in multicam, because as we know, most things are made in multicam these days. So you've got lots of selection there. The price on this stuff is pretty reasonable, and so far the construction seems to be pretty good. Maybe it's old school to me. I'd like to see the buckles made of steel like on the Alice thing, but to be honest, the plastic's holding up just fine, so it's really not a dig against that, and it definitely is a lot lighter. We hope you found this review of the Condor H-harness and Battlebelt system helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future field gear reviews.